Good evening, and welcome to this meeting of Westminster's Mayor and Common Council. The council meets here at City Hall on the second and fourth Mondays of every month. Please note the council meetings, although open to the public here at City Hall, are also available and streamed live on the city's YouTube page, as well as the Community Media Center channel and website. Now I'll begin as we do every meeting with the pledge to the flag, followed by a meeting.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As a courtesy to everyone, please take a moment to silence your cell phones or any other electronic devices you have with you that might interrupt the meeting. Thank you. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available online on the city's website. Copies of the agenda are available here in the front of the room for those present at the meeting. I have a statement for the record to read about the closed meeting of Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. In accordance with the general provisions article, section 3-306 of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and without objection, it is noted that the minutes of tonight's meeting reflect that the Common Council met in a closed meeting on Wednesday, March 13th, 2024 at 5:04 p.m. pursuant to General Provision Article Section 3-305B1 to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, and any other personal matter that affects one or more specific individuals. The motion to do so was made by Mr. Kamachi and seconded by Mr. Hoff, and the vote to close the meeting was unanimous. City Administrator Impulse was the only staff member in attendance. Mr. Melvin Merritt attended as a guest to the meeting. The Common Council took official action during the meeting. The closed meeting adjourned at 6:02 p.m. We have two presentations this evening. This evening, but before we do that, I have. I first want to wish everybody a happy Maryland's Day, happy Maryland Day, and also note that baseball season starts Thursday, so that's good. Yeah, it's still baseball. Get a little wet today. Before we go forward with our other presentations, one of the things that we're very pleased to be able to do at our meetings these days is have a report from McDaniel College. When Dr. Julia Jaskin took office as president of the college, she promised that as many meetings as possible, she would send a member of her leadership team here to report to us on what's going on up on the Hill and to take back information on what's going on in the city. So we're very pleased that continues, and we're especially pleased tonight to have the Dean of Students, Liz Talcott, with us. Dean, like to say a few words?
Sure. Very quickly today, along with it being Maryland Day, is One Hill, 1 day of giving at McDaniel, and so it's a big push for alums and other folks associated with the college for different endeavors that the college is focused on, and one of those being the Carroll County Scholarship Program that I think Erin Benevento shared with everybody about at one of the last meetings. And then the other very important thing to share is just to mention that the college has 2 entries in the peep show.
Very good.
One from the art department, Dr. Chloe Erla, and one from the writing center from the staff and students. So thank you.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for coming. Any questions for the dean? No. Okay, very good. The next, we have 2 presentations of proclamations from the mayor.
Thank you.
Becker?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to ask you to come up in this one. Thank you, Chief. So the first proclamation is for National Public Safety Telecommunications Week, which is the week of April 14th through the 20th. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police or emergency medical services. And when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And the safety of our emergency personnel is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained by citizens who telephone the Westminster Police Communications Center. And the public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our emergency personnel by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And public safety telecommunicators of the Westminster Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And each dispatcher has exhibited compassion and understanding and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year. Now therefore, I, Dr. Mona Becker, Mayor of the City of Westminster, on behalf of the Common Council, declare the week of April 14th through the 20th, 2024 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Westminster, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, there's no one. Abby's not here. Take a picture.
We missed you, trust me.
Well.
Mr. Dayhoff.
I've seen his pictures. They're okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next proclamation is in honor of Arbor Week. So I'd ask Mr. Depot if you could. All right, so Arbor Week is April 22nd through the 28th. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And this holiday, called Arbor Day, is observed in Westminster every year with a celebration organized by the Tree Commission. And trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil from wind and water, clean the air, produce oxygen, increase groundwater, clean surface water, and provide habitat for wildlife. And properly placed trees cut heating and cooling costs by moderating the temperature, reducing the urban heat island effect. And trees increase property values and enhance the economic vitality of business areas. And trees inject natural beauty into the city for residents and visitors alike to enjoy. Now therefore, I, Dr. Mona Becker, Mayor of the City of Westminster, do hereby proclaim the week of April 22nd as Arbor Week in the City of Westminster, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day on April 26th and to support efforts to protect our plants, trees, and forests. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees, to which will further increase the sustainability of the City of Westminster, Carroll County, and the state of Maryland and the entire planet. Adopted this 25th day of March, 2024. Thank you. Sounds for a minute like I was teaching my environmental science class. All right, thank you, Mr. Dale.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Council President.
Mr. Depot, is there an event that we're doing this month?
We are working on it. Next month, we'll have another insect release. We
Okay.
do not call them bugs, they're insects, and we will be working around with the tree commission, and we'll notify the mayor and
Do
county
we do a
council.
tree planting too sometime?
Yes, we do. We also do a tree
Can
planting.
you let us know?
Yes,
Very good. And thank the tree commission. So I
absolutely.
think they do very good work. They help make us and sustain us in the tree city. So we're very, very proud of what they do. All right, I'll move on to public hearing. Public hearings in the city of Westminster are conducted by the mayor. So I'll turn the gavel over to Mayor Becker.
Thank you, Council President. I'd like to call this public meeting to order. Ordinance number 2024-01, public right-of-way abandonment. An ordinance of the mayor and common council of Westminster vacating, abandoning, and closing two platted but unconstructed rights of way extending generally northeast from Tuck Road in the vicinity of its intersection with Longwell Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to execute a quitclaim deed reflecting said abandonment in favor of the Carroll County Board of Education. Would anyone like to speak?
Madam Mayor, statement.
Councilmember Kachi?
This is on behalf of the staff and Board of Education. Board of Education appreciates the consideration by the mayor and common council for the abandonment of the public right-of-way as necessary for the consideration of the East Middle School property. The board, the mayor, and the common council collaborated successfully to assure that the new East Middle School will continue to serve the Westminster City community historically served by the original school, and the board looks forward to many dedicated decades of collaborative efforts in the future. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Kalachi. Would anyone else like to be heard on this? If not, I will close this public hearing. Right, the second public hearing, I will call this hearing to order, 7:11. Ordinance number 2024-02, MUI B C-C, D-B, and C-B uses text amendment. An ordinance of the mayor and common council of Westminster amending chapter 164 zoning and subdivision of land of the code of the city of Westminster to amend article 7A MUI mixed use infill zone, section 164-39.2, article 8B business zone, section 164-41, article 8A CC central commerce zone, section 164-45.2, article 8B DB downtown business zone, section 164-45.8, and article 9 CB central business zone, section 164-47, to amend existing permitted uses, delete existing permitted uses, and add new permitted uses. Would anyone like to make any comments on this item? Mr. Amico, would you like to make any comments on this item?
Other than, as you know, it was introduced to the mayor and common council. There were no changes as it was introduced, and the city has not received any public input regarding the ordinance. And also that the Planning and Zoning Commission did hold a public hearing on the ordinance on March 25th, 2024, and forwarded a recommendation to approve the ordinance to the mayor and common council. So outside of that, there have been no changes recommended to the ordinance as introduced. So no additional comments.
Thank you, Mr. Depot. Would anyone else like to be heard on this matter? If not, I will close the public hearing and turn things back over to you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Becker. Move on now with approval of minutes. We have quite a few here to do. We have minutes of the meeting of the mayor and common council on March 11, 2024. The council work session on March 11th. The meeting of the mayor and common council on March 13th. The closed session of March 13th. The meeting of the mayor, special meeting of the mayor and common council on March 14th. And the work session on March 18th. I have a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll move to approve all 6 sets of minutes collectively, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Kavachi. Is there a second?
Second.
The second by Ms. Gilbert. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, and the ayes have it. Minutes are approved. We have one item on the consent calendar. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve the consent.
The motion by Ms. Gilbert. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The second by Mr. Dayhoff. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, and the ayes have it. Consent calendar is approved. Report from the mayor. Dr. Becker.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple things to report on this evening. I think that it's been a busy 2 weeks since we last met. I know We've all had a lot of work sessions and committee meetings the last 2 weeks leading up to this evening, but just a couple things I wanted to highlight. On Thursday evening of March 14th, Westminster hosted the quarterly Maryland Municipal League, or MML, meeting, along with MML state leadership and representatives. The event started with a meeting at 45 West Main Street, where I gave a small presentation about Pure Water Westminster, our water recycling facility, and the work that the city is undertaking at Wakefield Valley Wakefield Valley Park. We then took a short walk up Main Street, stopping at a few locations on our way to Paradisio's for the MML dinner and meeting. I would say the dinner and the meeting was well attended. We had several of our commissioners were in attendance as well that evening. On Tuesday, March 19th, unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but my colleagues, Councilmember Dayhoff, Councilmember Kabachi, and Council President Pecoraro, kicked off the Park Mobile for Westminster, much to the joy of individuals who do not carry change with them anymore. And so just to let you know, Park Mobile is now in effect. So you may pay with either change in the meters if you still carry change, or Park Mobile as well, using the app or logging onto their website. On Wednesday, March 20th, Councilmember Kabachi, our city administrator, Ms. Imholz, had a really fantastic meeting with McDaniel College President, Dr. Julie Jaskin, and Aaron Benevito. These are quarterly meetings that we have where we keep track of things that both of our organizations are undertaking and what we can do to assist each other in those undertakings. You know, where are we at in our strategic plan? What do we have planned for the future, et cetera. One of the things that I think is really exciting that's happening is this year, the Town Gown Conference, of which McDaniel is a member, is being held in College Park, Maryland, and both Ms. Benevito and Ms. Imholz will be attending that conference together, which I think is a great opportunity to learn some more how we can collaborate. And then last, on Thursday, I believe that was the 21st, I got to wear sort of two hats at the same time. Mr. Bowersox, he is our, not the academic facilitator, he is our internship coordinator at Westminster High School. He organized the interviews for juniors. So every junior in Carroll County Public Schools has to take an interview, go through an interview process before they are eligible for graduation. And he always asked me to take part in the interviews when they happen. So even though they were housed in Westminster High School that morning, I was playing the role of the mayor in interviewing several junior students. I will say, Mr. Depot, I think I have found another member for the tree commission when we are ready. So a young student of mine, actually I teach him in environmental science. He is interested in going to school for forestry and was really excited to hear we have a tree commission. So I'm not sure what the age limit is, but we can talk about that later. But I did say that, you know, he intends to stick around a little bit after he graduates. So it might be nice to see if we could bring him on board. But that's always a great time, sort of spending that morning interviewing juniors as they get ready for their senior year at Westminster High School. And that is all I have. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Becker. Move on now to reports from the committees. I'll begin with our liaison to the Carroll County Arts Council, Mr. Dayhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Peep Show is currently underway out at a large facility out at the mall. The executive director of the Arts Council was interviewed this morning on Channel 45. It brings an awful lot of folks to Westminster, and it is a real fun show. That'd be my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hoff is not with us this evening to give a report for the Economic and Community Development Committee. For the Finance Committee, I shared with everybody last time the schedule for the budget discussions that will be ongoing. We will be having a meeting with Finance Committee soon to an hour part of that process. Nothing to report for the Personnel Committee. Public Safety, Mr. Cavacho.
Thank you, Mr. President. Police recruits Nicholas Ead, Carrie Haynes, and Lupita Ramirez will graduate from the Carroll County Sheriff's Office Police Academy this Thursday, March 28th. We're happy about that. Police Academy graduation is at the Old North Carroll High School in Hampstead at 9 a.m. The new officers will be assigned to patrol squads where they will begin their field training. Also, Chief Ledwell and Lieutenant Wright participated in the Carroll County Sequential Intercept Model Mapping at the Public Safety Training Center last Thursday. It's an executive order by the state of Maryland, Behavioral Health and Public Safety Center of excellence action plan that assists and diverts those with mental illness or intellectual and developmental disabilities from the criminal justice system and provides them with appropriate treatment. Support for the Center of Excellence Sequential Intercept Modeling as a planning tool to strategically inform legislation, policy, planning, and funding local potential federal funding streams. The Chief and Lieutenant Wright provided law enforcement input to help draft priorities for Carroll County. And I think it's very fitting that the chief and his staff really play a big role in that because he's been out in front of this long before it became popular in the law enforcement arena. He was doing it years ago and sending our officers to training related to this. So he's certainly a subject matter expert. And I'm glad to see he had an opportunity to be involved in this along with Lieutenant Wright and help draft some of those priorities for the county. So nice work, Chief. That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kavachi. Public Works, Ms. Gilbert.
I have a short report. The streets department reconstructed the snack shack at the community pool. They also assisted in a lot of work that was done on the bunny trail at the Wakefield Valley Park on Saturday. And the utilities maintenance division ended up replacing 11 feet of sewer pipe last week on George Street near Liberty. They were out till about 4 a.m. Saturday morning replacing that line. And that is all I have on the public works.
All right, thank you. And recreational parks, once again.
Yep, I will go right into that. The department's adaptive recreation program is gaining momentum. The karaoke party that is scheduled or was scheduled for March 22nd was filled and even had a waiting list. So it was well attended and they had to move it from the community room that was at the pool to the multi-purpose room at the city administrative office building. The city's egg hunt, the exciting bunny trail at Wakefield Valley Park was held Saturday, March 23rd. Easter themed trail at Wakefield Valley Park featured children's activities, crafts, and egg hunt. Egg hunt featured over 20,000 treat-filled eggs, some of which contained small prize tickets that can be redeemed for a surprise. And each age group had at least one golden ticket, and they had bronze tickets also that could be redeemed for a special prize. Each age group also could go see the Cabby Club, which hosted the bunny petting zoo. And on top of all this and all the prizes and all the events, it was free. The sun was out, there was lots of kids, the crafts were amazing, and along the trail was a story themed book, and the crafts coincided with the story. So our team even managed to go right down to the detail with our exciting bunny trail. It was pretty amazing. That's all I have.
All right, very good. Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. Technology, Mr. Behoff.
Perhaps we'll get more of a report from Director Moore later, but many folks are really excited about the park removal, that the initiative by the mayor and council to bring the modern world into downtown Westminster. But I've heard lots of really positive remarks, so that's a good thing.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Sure, thank you. All right. Move on now to council comments and discussion. This is the opportunity for council members to raise any other issues that they have or thoughts they want to share that are not elsewhere on the agenda. I'm just going to go first briefly just to say it was fun to deputize from the mayor at the Park Mobile unveiling. It was freezing cold.
Why do you think I was?
That's fine. But Mr. Kavachi and Mr. Dehoff and I braved the weather and along with several city staff, and we were out there to unveil the first meter, after which the city staff deployed quickly to label all the other meters in town. And I understand that people started using it immediately. So that's great. Hopefully, people will find it a lot easier to be able to access that way. So I'm excited that we're able to do that. It was also great to be able to host the ML leadership, as well as the governor's staff, representatives of that election.
Right. Representative Dillon
The governor, the
is
governor's
not
staff.
watching.
No, that's right. That's why I didn't mention it. And then, of course, the dinner later in the evening. It's great to gather with our colleagues from across the county and several county commissioners. So, it was a good event. I'm glad we were able to have our turn to host at one of Westminster's fine establishments. Mr. Kavachi.
Yeah, I only showed up at that unveiling because Doug had treats from Gene. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have paid either. That's all.
Mr. Bayhoff.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I'd like to echo the remarks about the Easter egg hunt. That was pretty fantastic. That was a great event. There were a lot of folks out there, and the Department of Recreation and Parks finally got a break on the weather. It was a pretty nice day, a little chilly, but it was good. I was really impressed with the quarterly MML meeting. I think the city of Westminster really shined. Having leadership from all over the state and the governor's office was really exciting. And it was good to talk with a lot of friends and acquaintances from all over Carroll County and some from throughout the state. I think that's going to be my report, Mr. President. Looking over my notes here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dale. Ms. Gilbert.
I would like to take a moment to congratulate Roland Brinkle. I went to his Eagle Scout ceremony yesterday, right after the egg sighting bunny trail, and had a pink nose and whiskers on my face, and did not realize it until I got into the building and I had to hurry up and take the pink nose and the whiskers off. But I ended up with a very nice face. I hope so. And presented him with his proclamation yesterday. And then last Wednesday, I, along with my colleague, Kevin Dayhoff, Councilmember Kevin Dayhoff, attended the Historical Society's event hosted by Steve Bowersox. He highlighted the Westminster High School graduates that served in World War II. And it was quite full of alumni. It was a very well-attended event and very interesting. So thanks to Steve and to, who else hosted? There was somebody else. Dalen Root,
Yeah.
who hosted the event.
It was a great event.
It was a good event. And you guys already talked about the MML quarterly meeting, so that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Gilbert. Now it's time for action on ordinances and resolutions. First item is on adoption of ordinance number 2024-01, public right-of-way abandonment and ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster vacating, abandoning, and closing two platted but not reconstructed rights-of-way extending generally northeast from Tuck Road in the vicinity of its intersection with Longwell Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to execute a quitclaim deed reflecting said abandonment in favor of the Carroll County Board of Education. Mr. Deacon, anything to add in the few minutes since we had the public hearing?
No, nothing to add again, no public comment, and the ordinance has not changed since it was introduced, other than the staff recommends that the mayor and common council approve ordinance 2401.
Very good, thank you. I think I don't want to let this opportunity pass to thank Mr. Kavachi for all the work he did on being a liaison on behalf of the city with the Board of Education in that project. It was, it was challenging for a while, but Mr. Kavachi's patience and conversations with everybody helped get it through. So thank you, Mr. Kavachi, for just jumping all down that. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have, and the ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. Oh, didn't do much. Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
So did I forgot. Thank you. But I'd like to make the motion.
I would.
All right, thank you. We'll do this over again. We have a motion to adopt by Mr. Kavachi. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Mr. Dayhoff. Now, any further discussion? Hearing none, move on to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it. And now the ordinance is adopted. Thank you for that timely correction, Mr. Kavach. Not often you get to correct.
Very rarely, especially when it comes to Robert's
That's
rules.
right. Adoption of ordinance number 2024-02 MUIB C-C D-B and C-B, uses text amendment. An ordinance of the Mayor and Common Council of Westminster, amending chapter 164 zoning and subdivision of land of the Code of the City of Westminster to amend article 7A MUI mixed use infill zone, section 164-39.2, article 8B business zone, section 164-41, article 8A C-C central commerce zone, section 164-45.2, article 8B DB downtown business zone, section 164-45.8, and article 9 CV central business zone, section 164-47, to amend existing permitted uses, delete existing uses, and add new permitted uses. Mr. Depot, when we get the code rewritten, we're gonna have to do something about how these sound when we read the maps.
Yes, hopefully we'll take care of a lot of these things and we won't have to come back with so many changes.
Anything else you want to add from the public innocence, public?
Again, nothing, no additional public comment. The ordinance was not amended since introduced. The planning commission did recommend approval, as well as staff recommended approval of the ordinance 2024-02.
Very good. Anyone else have any comments or discussion, questions? Right. I want to thank the owners of Rudolph Girls Bookstore for bringing this little problem to our attention and enabling us to correct a number of other problems that need to be fixed in the process. So, sorry, it may have slowed you down a little bit, but we appreciate your helping us out with that. All those in favor? Motion. Get carried away.
I'll move to approve ordinance 2024-02.
Thank you. There's a motion by Mr. Kavacci and a second by Ms. Gilbert. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. Thank you all very much. Next item is unfinished business. There is no unfinished business of which I'm aware. Does anybody have any unfinished business? Hearing none, move on to new business. Does anybody have any new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to departmental reports. Mr. Depot, would you like to lead us through those?
Thank you, I would. And again, I think it's worth noting once again about the addition of Parks Mobile downtown and the benefit from downtown Westminster. And special thanks to Director Moore and the IT department, as well as Public Works and Steve Strasburg and his staff to roll out as quickly as they did after the unveiling. We got it done that day. And as mentioned, it was already operational. We have people using it. And I think Mr. Moore will get into that. And with that, let's start with Director Moore.
All right, I'll save that for last. Just first thing, thank you, Mr. Depot. We do have one position open in our department. It's currently up on the website for a GIS technician. So if anybody knows anybody who is interested in geographic information systems, we'll have our first review of that position on Friday for any applications received. Working on some of the few things behind the scenes for security updates. There'll be an email coming out to city staff shortly about a new process we have for email as far as phishing and how that works. Some things we do because we want to, some things Microsoft makes changes and we have to react and fix it. So that's one of the out of there. And as far as Park Mobile, once again, just this has been, I think, my first big project since coming to the city of actually getting through the whole process. I can't thank staff enough. Every department's been involved with this, from finance to planning to streets, IT, police were involved, definitely with Michelle and Lieutenant Rife. Coming together to make this happen. It's been a wonderful experience for me. It's the first one to get out there and finish. We did have some hiccups on the way. They had forgot to turn some things on for us. So right now, if you go to Westminster, they actually show up on the map as of yesterday. They forgot to turn that on. But no, everything's been going really good. Steve's team, the streets, they were out there, like I said, and less than 4 hours, they had every meter in the city with a sticker on it. We're gonna get some extra stickers from Park Mobile because they kind of were short in some zones. We had just enough, but we'd like some spares. But overall, it went very well. And they said as they were putting stickers on, people were like pulling their phones out and starting to scan the QR code. So it's been an interesting experience. So we're watching it. Tomorrow will be one full week and we'll start getting some good data at that point. But we have been tracking it all week and just seeing the numbers come in. So it's been very exciting. So unless you have any questions, that's all I got.
Mr. President. We got the app?
Yeah.
It is? Right, okay. Mr. Zahal.
How many parking meters do we have?
We have about 550 total.
Used to know.
Mr. President, so two things. Number one, how much use has it seen since we turned it on? I'm assuming you're getting reporting of some.
I'm watching it. So as of Friday, we had 129 people use it already. And that was in the first really 3.5 days.
Right.
So,
Now, do we require payment on the weekends?
no.
So that's,
No weekends.
a pretty small window of time when you really take the weekends out. That's a lot of use already. Number two, I just one thing, I'm sure I'm speaking for all of my colleagues. You know, when you came on board, Mr. Moore, we were all pretty impressed. We've been nothing but impressed since then. And I know Ms. Imholz, she sings your praises to us constantly, but you know, you talked about the fact that you started this and you ended it and saw it all the way through to fruition. And from my perspective, and again, I think I probably speak for everyone, it seemed to go just swimmingly. You did exactly what we asked you to do. You did it in a very timely fashion, and we got the end result that we were looking for. So kudos and much appreciated.
Here.
Any other questions? Thank you. Let's move to Teresa Rogers in Finance Department.
Thank you, Mr. Depot. Good evening, Mayor and Council. From the Finance Department, I'll just report that we continue working on the fiscal 25 operating budget. We've had all of our departmental meetings and I've received lots of feedback from staff. We'll continue to incorporate the updates and changes that they have, and I'll be pleased to present that to you soon. From Human Resources Department, since Mr. Warren mentioned that he has a new position up, I don't believe Mr. Brown is here this evening.
He is not.
Okay, and from housing, but he has a senior housing specialist posted as well that just went up today. So I encourage everyone that might be looking to look at westminstermd.gov, our website, and there are plenty of positions posted throughout various departments, including many for recreation and parks for summer positions for students and such. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. And any questions from Ms. Rogers? None. Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I sit on the planning committee for the Chamber of Commerce Public Safety Awards. It's an annual event. This year it's going to be on May the 13th at Pleasant Valley Fire Hall from 8 to 10 a.m. If you're interested in attending, if you just want to shoot me an email, I'll reserve you a spot at our table. And that's all I have.
Any questions? Any questions for Chief Ledwell?
What date was that, Chief?
May 13th, it's a Monday, 8 to 10.
Any other questions? As Ms. Rogers mentioned, Eric Brown from Housing is not available tonight, neither is Abby Gruber, but I think a council member addressed, I think, all their comments. So I have nothing more to add for that. With that, Planning and Zoning, the Planning and Zoning Commission did hold a public hearing on local map amendment LMA 2401, amending the zoning map to rezone a parcel from B business zone to from IR restricted zone to B business zone. And the commission did recommend approval of the rezoning application. This is that property north of 97, potentially adjacent to a future Dunkin' Donuts property or site plan. Planning Commission also held a public hearing on ordinance 2402, which is the text amendment we heard tonight recommending approval. They reviewed and approved the sign permit application for Honeygrow at 343 Baltimore Boulevard. This is one where they exceeded the limit that staff could approve. It was 69 square feet versus 64 that staff could approve. So not much of a larger sign, but did have to go to Planning Commission. That was approved. They did review a presentation by Carroll County Economic Development Study that they're moving forward. This is the first phase of the comprehensive rewrite. Economic study that was completed. Now they're moving into a housing study. Once we get more information on that, I'll share it with City Administrator Imholz, just any feedback we might get for housing results in the county and the city. And they also certified a water and sewer amendment request for 2 parcels in the water development. These are those 2 properties, the Dole properties. They're adjacent to Stonegate. They have to first go through the water and sewer amendment. They did certify that the request was consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. So after that gets amended, the next step would be eventual annexation and potential development of single-family detached housing. I just want to remind everybody the Downtown Business Association meeting is scheduled for April 1st at 3 p.m. at Exploration Commons. We did have a great meeting with the leadership team that is developing for DBA just a few weeks ago. 5 of the 7 sections we have leaders for. We're looking for 2 more. And the hope is not this meeting, but the next meeting that leadership team will start taking command of those meetings. And with that, that is my report. I'm available for any questions.
So Steve, very pleased somebody who wasn't in compliance with our sign ordinance actually came and asked permission to do something without just going ahead and doing it like a lot of people do. We've still got
We're
lots.
entities,
Sorry?
like we're entities like the town.
Yeah, so there's lots of people out there who have just gone and done their own thing. Are we really doing anything about that?
Yes, we are. So I'm going to rebring the sign ordinance back to, we have a sign committee. So we're working on that.
The sign committee a long time ago.
Yes, we did. And actually, since that time, I think we've learned some other things as well that we're incorporating into that draft text that the sign committee looked at. So we will be reintroducing that to the sign committee, hopefully then leading to text amendments.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Any other questions? No, I have nothing else.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you. Well, that's the final item. The final item on our agenda is citizen comments. When we invite the public to address the mayor and council on any issues that pertain to tonight's agenda or any other city issues. For citizens not attending the public meeting, we invite you to send us your comments or concerns via email at comments@westminstermd.gov. All comments received by email will be shared with the mayor and council. Commenters should include their address and phone number with their comments. I will now invite comments from anybody who is present. Is anybody here who would like to be heard? Okay. See no one. Then that will conclude our agenda and the meeting. The next regular meeting will be on Monday, April 8th. And with that, without objection, we are adjourned.